everyone, and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show, where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. I also help you learn some things about the wine world, which is really, both of those are very important to me. We're continuing with this theme of kind of rare or unusual wine grapes, because I want everybody that I get in contact with in the wine world, customers, whatever, to really think about expanding their palate horizons. It's easy to buy Chardonnay, Pinot Gris, Cab, Merlot, Zin, Cab Franc, Pinot Noir. I mean, those are safe zones, and we all know that people like to stay in the safe zone. Who wants to spend their money on something they have no idea what they're getting? But that's what I'm here for. And hopefully you have a wine shop that you shop at that has somebody there to help guide you. That's very important. Also, there's wine periodicals, but really, you have this wine show. I think I'm 12 short of 1,000 followers, which is very exciting to me. I'm so stoked about that. But that's not the point. Let's get started. This one, I had to practice this name. And Keith, who was on my program, I interviewed on my last episode. Cool guy, very smart, very intelligent. I had to ask him, because he imports this wine. This is part of 11's import, or Dzelshavi brands. Yeah, I think producing blah, 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 blah. Yeah, anyway, Dzelshavi brands. That's his other company. This is the 2019. Now, this is from Georgia, the country of Georgia, where Russia borders the north side of that country. Very small country, really. This is a red dry wine, 2019. It's pronounced Dzelshavi. 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 You can say Dzelshavi or Dzelshavi, but Dzelshavi, the DZ together. That is the name of the grape. The producer is Enkini. I hope I said that right. Enkini. And this rolls in at $24. There you go. So, first of all, you're probably not going to find too many wine shops that carry Georgian wines. Keith is located up in Bellingham area, and most of his wines go into the north side of Washington State, which I'm very privileged to have him there for me to provide these great wines. So all these is a very light. Now the interesting thing about Dzelshavi is it is this producer and Kenny has about 1/3 of an acre. They produce 500 bottles of this. All of it is fermented in amphora vessels, from fermentation to skin contact, all of that in amphora vessels. It's aged in those amphora vessels and bottled. And Keith got an opportunity to hook up with this producer and import these wines. So, Keith informed me that this is wine that could be chilled if possible, and we're going into the summer. Not bad to have a wine that you can chill. And you can see why. It is very, very light. Almost see-through. Even lighter than a lot of Pinot Noirs. Has a little bit of a cola aspect on the color as well. Let's see what we get on the nose. Very, I'm getting some bark notes. Getting some interesting red berry tones on this one. Interesting, I'm even getting a little bit of root beer. Pomegranate. Bark. Red berries, of course, pomegranate, red berries. Duh. There's an interesting root beer component coming through. A little earthiness. There you have it. Let's see what we get on the palate. $24, of course. Now, even if I was going into a store and didn't know a lot about wine, I would be going, oh, do I want to really get a Georgia wine for $24? Let's find out. Like I said, and this is a little cooler than some. I get this kind of copper penny. You ever looked at copper penny thing on this one? The red berry notes, the pomegranate notes come through. Good acidity. Really good acidity, but not overpowering. It's nicely balanced. Very, very light. I'm not sure how many of you guys would like this wine. You would have to go full-on geek out experience to try this wine. I know when I first tried it, I liked it. That copper penny thing, have you ever looked at penny? It gets out on the backside of this one. Good acidity. The pomegranate notes come through, but very, very, very light. Very earthy as well. Some interesting red plum notes come through on the back end. I didn't get that on the nose, but I get it on the back of the palate. Now, this, like I said, this wine is not for everybody, but this wine would really go well with pizza, pepperoni pizza, because of the acidity and the brightness of the fruit. It's fresh, it's lively, it's got a lot of verve to it. Now just think, 500 bottles produced. I think most of those are at Dickerson Distributing up in Bellingham. That's where I get this wine. Extremely interesting wine. That's the best I can say about this wine. Good pizza wine. I would have this with chicken. I would have it with salmon for sure. You could even pair this with some shellfish because it's very light. Might add a little bit to it. You know, I would have this with clams in a sort of a red sauce thing. This would be very good. The old pinky thing came out. Whoa. Anyway, I think overall, as light as it is, the intensity of the flavors, the liveliness of this wine, I'm going to go B-. I think it's a solid wine, 24 bucks. I think it's worth trying if you want to geek out a little bit and try something new. I would definitely go there. Yeah, very interesting wine. Let's move on. Now we're going to Greece. This is Liatiko is the name of the winery. This is their 2022 Liatiko Red. Now Liatiko is the name of the grape. Liatiko. And there's a whole area in Greek devoted to Liatiko. It's Daphne. Now, one thing I want to mention about this wine, and I didn't mention it, I'm sorry, but before we go onto the Greek wine, this Dzelshavi could be the oldest grape in Georgia, and that's saying something, because there's a lot of old grapes in Georgia, but this could be the most ancient grape in Georgia, which just makes it cool. You know, rinse Liatiko. Liatiko is comes from the Greek word July, which means July, and that's because this grape ripens earlier than most grapes. Although they do not harvest it in July, it just could be a reference to the fact of how early it ripens. It doesn't necessarily mean it ripens in July, but you get the idea. So, Liatiko from Greece, and it says vegan on it, which is interesting. This rolls in at $18. This is one of my wife's favorite wines. Susie loves this wine. She's a big Pinot Noir person, and she feels this is a lot like Pinot Noir. Much darker than the Dzelshavi, but you would expect that. It's a Pinot-ish color, for sure. Interesting thing about Liatiko being it's a dark berry, but evidently it's really hard to extract color from the berry, and it is prone to bricking, which means, you know, turns kind of an orange-brown color. This one does not have that. It's very youthful, but it tends to do that. I believe this grape was revived or had brought back to life by Liatiko. I tried to do some research on that. I read that somewhere. I couldn't find it again, so I'm not going to stake my reputation on that. But I believe that Liatiko helped revive Liatiko. Let's see what we get on those. Now this is very earthy. I get a little bit of dirt on the nose. I get hints of licorice. I definitely get some cherry notes coming through. Licorice, cherry. A little bit of red flower coming through as well. And that earthiness, that dirtiness comes through. Let's see what we get on the palate. Very nice wine. Interesting to get a little bit of alfalfa on this, which is something that's very unusual. I tend to get alfalfa on Washington Malbecs. The earthiness is there, the cherry notes are there, the red flowers are there for sure. Nice balanced acidity. You know, the tannins are softer. Oh, no tannins on the Dzelshavi at all. Yeah, kind of a hay, cherry. I get some of that licorice notes come through, and then finish is very dry, very clean. Acid is balanced, but is definitely there, definitely present. This is big time food wine right here, guys. Big time. The red flower notes really hit on the back end. And that acidity really gives it a nice juiciness on the palate. Yeah, nice juiciness, freshness, very clean, solid salmon wine, solid chicken, roasted chicken wine. This also would be good with pizza. I can see that big time. So, how many of you have had a Liatiko before? Now, of course, Little Rackus isn't the only one that produces this wine, but it's the only one I've found so far in my career, which is saying something because a lot of wines come across my plate. But $18, try a Liatiko. If you like Pinot Noir, you're going to love this. This is from Crete in Greece, a place that Susie and I plan on going to Crete. Yeah, nice juiciness on the palate. This is a delicious wine, really, but the acidity lends it to food. I'd have this with lamb for sure. Be a big time lamb wine. Pork, perhaps. Great wine. I'm going to go B plus on that. I think it's a very, very solid example of Liatiko. So don't be afraid of a Liatiko if you're a Pinot Noir drinker. Now this is a nice cross. This needs to be said. This is a nice cross between Willamette Valley Pinot Noir and Burgundy. It has that acidity, a little bit more fruit than some of the Burgundies I've tried, but yes, definitely there. Definitely Pinot Noir-like, definitely worth looking for. Now, a wine that I've been jazzed about for a long time. This is the 2019 Tenuta Rubino, it's a producer, Oltre May Susumaniello. Susumaniello. That's the name of the grape. This is a cool grape. I think Keith called it Susu in our last episode. This is from Brindisi Rosso. Brindisi Rosso is a DOC, which is near Salice Salentino in the southern part of Italy. And the cool story behind this one, as I give this a little bit of a rinse, is Rubino found these vines, or not just him, but several of the wine growers found these vines, and they were going to uproot them. They, you know, Susumaniello, I guess at one time was a big deal, and it went away, and there was a few vines laying around, and these guys decided to revive the plants. Now, one of the rarest grapes in the world, Susumaniello. But now it's seeing a revival. These guys aren't the only ones that do Susumaniello. So if you get a chance, evidently they do a really good rosé. I have not had a chance to try one as of yet. I'm excited to get my hands on it, by the way. So this is rolls in at $18, but I got a screaming deal at the store. I have it right now. I have it for $14. But it is normally $18. I just got a deal on it, and I'm rolling with it at the store. Very, very dark in color. Yeah, you almost can't see through it. Susumaniello is a derivative of the Italian word for donkey, which is Somarello, so it means donkey. And evidently, this has a huge crop, similar to Liatiko. I forgot to mention that. Also has a very large crop. In fact, some producers tend to make too many grapes per, clusters per vine. Kind of weakens it a little bit. But they're getting serious about it now, as Little Rackus is. Same thing with the Susumaniello. They can overcrop it if they want, but these guys don't do that. And I guess donkey, because it carries a heavy load of grapes, and also I guess the clusters kind of have a a small grouping together on the vine, even though it's large. That's the way donkeys are. They come together in small groups. I tried to figure all that out, but the main thing is it produces a lot, means donkey. There you go. Let's see what we get on those. Getting interesting kind of blueberry chocolate. Kind of currant blueberry chocolate. A bit of coffee bean coming through as well. Very interesting on the nose. Let's see what we get on the palate. Super stoked about this wine. Good concentration of fruit, but it's not a fruit bomb. Just nice intensity front to finish. Blueberries. I get a little black raspberry. It's currant notes coming through. Nicely integrated acidity. Keeps it fresh on the palate. Tannins are, medium minus. They're not heavy tannins. They're not drying tannins, but they're there. Gives it structure and balance. Nice little brightness on the mid palate. Then it goes into the finish. Very, very nicely integrated wine. Good balance, good flow across the palate. Solid wine. I'm just going to say that if you ever see this wine, and this would probably be more up in the north, I don't know who else I met the importer actually, and he said that King's Market, where I work, my wine department, we sold more of his Susumaniello than anybody in the United States, which I find hard to believe, but I've been rolling with this for quite a while. The chocolate notes kind of lie underneath, give it that nice depth and balance. Like I said, hardly a fruit bomb, and then that coffee bean right at the back end. Very cool wine. Very cool wine. So, I just have to go straight up A, hedging towards A+. Now, even at $18, I'd go AA+, but $14, it is an absolute steal. Just saying, it's a steal. So, excellent wine. So, think about this, guys. This is why I haven't done an episode for a little bit. I mean, I haven't shot an episode since about almost 2 weeks ago because I was doing research on these wines. Just so excited about these wines. I've known about this one for a while, but these are a little bit different. And I just think it's awesome to be able to try these wines. And I think a wine like this, even at $18, is a steal. And, because it's such a obscure wine grape, a lot of people might not, what in the hell is that? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just, oh man, incredible. 10 in the delicious category for sure. So, there you have it. 3 very unusual grapes, all very good in different ways. And I hope I can encourage all of you to expand your palate horizons. Just try new things, because a lot of times when you try a grape that people don't understand, the prices stay down because it's not like super ultra popular. So there you have it. And you could age this baby, easily 8 years. Thanks for taking a little time out of your day. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. That way you see things coming up. I have more of these interesting wine grapes that most people are not familiar with. I have a few of those episodes coming up soon. You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely.